You are watching a live streamed event. Welcome to Saturn Salon, Tea Salon special. It's a special episode today, guys. Last day of Saturn in Capricorn. I didn't even finish. I am your host, Madam President of the Artegan, Natalie. I'm going to spell it for you. Natalee. Hey, Chris, welcome. I didn't think anyone was going to be on, but hey. I'm just recording this thing for the last little squeeze and the last little juice out of Saturn being in Capricorn. Hey, Jeff. How are you guys? How is everyone feeling on this? Hey, Tim. Hey, Samantha. Welcome, guys. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, a wild few years with all of the restructuring. You're sweet. So, of course, Saturn has taught us all how to be responsible, how to take responsibility for what we love or what we own, what we care about. Hey, Erica, I'm all over. It's been something, LOL. Saturn governs the actual structures of our lives that we live in day to day, the things that, we don't really want to think about so much, but really what comes up when I get Saturn is you can do easy things for a hard life or hard things for an easy life, for an easy life. It's so, I'm going to give a message to fam. You guys are sweet. Thanks. So that being said, when we do create our reality in a conscious way where we know who we are and we know what we want, we can create wonderful structures. And we can enjoy those structures and enjoy the reinforcement and the protection of those boundaries and just live life. Good evening. Hey, Sophia. Congratulations, Saturn survivors. I know. We did it, Capricorn, Saturn and Capricorners. Whew. That's what this really is. Tonight's video is really more of a send-off to the Saturn and Capricorn returners and everyone going through their own personal Saturn and Capricorn experience. Later on, I'll do Saturn and Aquarius. It's going to be a whole different vibe. This is very, I feel so like ritualistic or even like we did it, It's been a wild ride. Hey, Sarah. Yay. Mondo, we made it, buddies. Yeah, we did. If you're here, we made it. We really did. We got through those horrible. And here's the thing is that everything that wasn't supposed to be a part of your reality, your structural reality, was knocked down, taken away, removed, repossessed, whatever it was, whatever that mechanism, that legal authoritative mechanism that Saturn used, he did that in order to go and just, that's what Saturn does. Saturn takes away all of your resources, takes away all of your help to make you do it yourself. And we're supposed to get it. We're supposed to learn how to do it ourselves. And then that creates self-respect. And that's something no one can give to us except ourselves. And so Saturn is often felt as very fated events, things that are happening to us, that is just out of our control. It's out of our control. When in reality, yeah, we totally manifested all of those things. But kind of going back to what I say about crises is that a crisis is just, we're experiencing it like a crisis because we don't have the maturity level. We're not like able to handle what's going on. And so we go through this crisis, it gets us to that level of maturity to handle whatever is going on. And then we're at that maturity level. So likewise, Saturn, when he takes away things from you, you think you need them, you think you want them, but I'm telling you, for anyone watching, if you ever Saturn in Aquarius, let it go. Whatever is that, now that I'm at the end, I'm like, take it. Because if you try to hold on and if you try to resist, thanks. I tried today. Willisha, welcome. Hey, Barb Marley. Yeah, the more we resist, the more painful it is. And it's just like, there's no overcoming that. If we don't learn that authority, that positive authority figure, we test those boundaries and we push those buttons, and we need to get it at school. And if school, that's that Saturnian energy. And if school doesn't show us that positive authority figure, then we go and we get into like really big trouble. And it's, oh, thanks. I just put like a lot of lipstick on. I just put a lot. Jeff, Saturn is killing me with car repairs. Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of that today. People with like car issues, mechanical issues, anything that you could possibly take responsibility for, you're going to want to take responsibility for. Now, of course, we're not talking about taking responsibility for other people's feelings or thoughts or situations, but just our personal selves. That's the way through this. That's the way through this. I'm telling you, I'm like a Saturnian child, and you just run into those experiences that make you learn, you just can't escape it. That's why, okay, back to Saturn feeling like fated events. That's why Saturn feels like fated events that are just like happening to us. But really, our conscious mind is rejecting reality. Our conscious mind is like, I can't take responsibility for what's going on in my life. I can't handle this. So something has to happen. So that's when our unconscious, subconscious mind takes over. And that's what creates our reality. And that's usually what creates some sort of huge experience that we're trying to evolve through, we're trying to learn through. And Saturn's the one to deliver it. Whoop. The karma. That's like the real Santa is Capricorn. Hey, Troy, welcome. Oh, I like the little alien emoji. Oh, Chris asking, how much longer do we suffer? A few more hours until about, a few more hours. We're literally hours away, and then we will not see Saturn in Capricorn for another like 30 odd years. So these lessons, that's why it's painful till the very end, Chris. And then we're going to start. That's what Saturn does, is sets the agenda. So in your natal chart, Saturn is setting your agenda of like the major life lessons you're here to learn. As Saturn moves through the zodiac, we learn these huge, big lessons in every different area of a life. And that's what's happening. And it's not just that Saturn is shifting. This, of course, happens every 30 years. It's the fact that it's happening on an eclipse. The fact that it's happening with Jupiter about to join him in this epic conjunction. The fact that we are moving out of Earth sign conjunction every 20 years into air sign. Okay, the exception was, shoot, is it 80 or 81? Whenever Lady D and Charles got married, that was the last one, and that was in Libra. So that was like one exception. But I think that's when IBM computers, there were all kinds of technical milestones. But yeah, guys, it's been traumatizing for all of us, especially because we've had Pluto here, and especially it's like Pluto since 2008, and then Saturn 2017, and then Jupiter this past year. So it's just been layer after layer of this one concentrated area of life. Not only that, but we had 6 months of Mars retrograding and squaring, psychic slip, squaring Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter in Capricorn that was just aggravating something, especially if you have that on your angles. If you're an Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, your whole life has totally been lit up like a Christmas tree. So I would expect whatever area of life this Capricorn meridian channels energy into your life through, and whatever planets, whatever is going on there, it looks totally different than it did in December 2017. And that's on purpose. You've had to meet those realities that you've created for yourself. We've all had to come up against those structures that we build consciously or unconsciously, and the best of it was stress tested to see what is like strong enough to last, what's strong enough to survive, what's strong enough and deserving enough to pass on, to last through Saturn's like super duper scary critical I. So anything that needed to go, it went. There really was no stopping it, especially we still have Pluto in Capricorn for another few years. So we're not totally off the hook yet, but having Saturn moving off of this sign and going into masculine air sign Aquarius, it's a little bit of a relief. And you know, Saturn's a ruler of Aquarius, so it's different. It's a different energy. It's just different lessons. So bravo, everyone gets raise a glass, fam. Raise a glass. I accidentally dropped this huge lemon thing, so it's like this, like floating in my tea. That's all. Okay. Congratulations to everybody for getting through this incredibly difficult time. You made it. You were responsible. You learned how to take responsibility even when it was psychologically very traumatizing. You've probably had to knock down the partitions of those fallacies that you had in your head, our cognitive biases, cognitive dissonance that prevented us from being able, we were probably unable to deal with a lot of this stuff, especially if you're a Saturn returner. Then you probably just were not ready to unpack all that stuff until now. Oh, welcome, John from Springfield, Illinois. My name is Dee. I'm drinking my tea out of my karma mug. Guys are funny. And what's interesting is that there's Santisha forming right as we get into this epic conjunction. Honestly, December 21st is one of those, like, I don't know if I'm going to get any sleep that night, because I'm probably just going to be like, what is it? 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 There's so much going on. Like, even on top of the conjunction, on top of the quarter moon, the waxing, gaining in like quarter moon in Aries, on top of the ingresses into the 0th degree of the sun into Capricorn. I mean, all of that anti-adventitia forming. I mean, something secret taking place. And it's the solstice. It's like the darkest, snowiest, most Capricornian. It's what does Christopher Nolan say was Dark Night? It's nice. So night's always darkest right before the dawn. Totally butchered that. You guys get what I'm saying? You guys get it? Bob Marley, it's strange. I've been watching your episodes since you literally started. It's crazy how far we've come, right, guys? That's true. That's a good point, Bob Marley. Absolutely. You guys have been with me pretty much since, like, when I just started putting up tarot spreads and talking about tarot cards and channeling on camera live. Like, oh man, you guys have seen a lot. You guys have seen this whole, that was all part of my Saturn return. That's another thing. So if you are a Saturn returner and you thought you were going to do something, be somebody, or to wear anything that was like inauthentically you, if you were in a job, if you were going to school, if it was to please boyfriends or girlfriends or family members or society or anything like that, even if it wasn't supposed to be like your primary thing or just sort of like an add-on, browser extension of your life, that was stress tested. Your relationships were in this area of your life stress tested. And, with Saturn, it's very frugal. So a lot of people could have even lost weight or dropped weight, not even like trying to, been challenged with like a lack, just such a lack of everything. So for Saturn returners in particular, this has a lot to do with taking personal responsibility in that very like fathering yourself type way. So that includes what you do. If you're like Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, that was especially gnarly, especially January. We had all that heavy cap still. I was talking about Saturn returns though. So you're finishing up your Saturn return. That's really like the growing up energy, the growing up. I just remember your long hair and your psychic slips, which always seemed to be directly connected to me. So freaky and so cool at the same time. Oh, Bob Marley, thanks. I love you guys. Yeah. I have so many psychic slips that I have to edit. I'm so sorry. They're like downloaded, a lot of them from Patreon that I have to, you guys know how I do it. I splice them together. So, oh, there is some really exciting stuff about, this was forever ago. I feel like I'm about a year from 18 months forward on a forward timeline. It was months ago. I think it was like in the spring or maybe summer when I was told that I'd be able to like show these psychic experiments and prove psychic ability. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And so I'm like, been waiting for that, right? Well, I have more information on that now, and it's going to be something that I might add to the Patreon. I'm going to start experimenting and getting some variables worked out, and then I'm going to bring it out here and show you guys. And it'll be really just like the psychic slips when you see me, you know, make those kind of instant predictions. It's going to be like that, where you can see like, that's what we're going to actually see, not to like skip ahead, but with Saturn in Aquarius, we're going to see the blend of spirituality and science. And that's what I'm all about, to be honest. Like, I would love to just take my psychic ability and shove it under a microscope so we can all just like look at it and learn and replicate it or whatever. Not like it's that easy to do, but she blasted to the future. Oh, that's right. The long hair days. Yeah. I have a very long face, you guys, so it just makes my long face even longer. This is much more, I think, suiting for my long face. I'm 3 years behind you, January 7th. Cap Sun, I'll be 56 this January. You are the best. Yep, you're a gem, Natalie. Oh, thanks, guys. You guys are really sweet. I'm really lucky that I found people that like me doing this. Seriously, I feel really lucky. You guys are so nice to me. Angela Moon 42, Cap Sun, Aqua Moon like me, Gem Rising, boom, been intense but expansive. Yeah, I was really into the ancient community of Atlantis, and I was always speaking on the subject of telepathy. Honestly, when I get to launch Practical Magic, the 3rd level, and we start doing telepathic exercises, it's not that hard. You guys are going to, it's something that if you guys are ever interested in, it's going to be something that you just practice. Honestly, a lot of that stuff, all the cool parlor tricks of psychic ability, it's just practice. You just have to know how and to know what it feels like. Just like, sorry. I hate when I do that, and I do it all the time. I'm trying to analogize here with psychic ability. That's part of why I want to do scientific experiments with psychic ability, is so that it's just like more, I just want to prove it and have it to be very shown. And that's why I do the classes on Patreon, is because yes, I do want to help uplift humanity's consciousness, but I also want people to have their own psychic experiences, so that it's not like just everyone watching me or everyone watching some other psychic. I just want people to have their own experience. Hey, C, because that's really the biggest proof, is when people do it themselves. Laura B. Hernandez has an excellent point. She says, agree, Capricorns only get better. That's another thing with Capricorn energy. For all my Caparoos, we have this reverse aging thing where we start out super serious, very serious little people, and maybe even discriminatory. And then as we grow physically older, we loosen up our spirit and we just become lighter spirited as we get older. So I know that's how it feels with me, certainly. I was like the weird duckling, like weird. Some of everything I made for you. Oh, thanks, Chris. 5th element, when the Saturn runs. I have been doing this with my cat, and it's cool how you made a video describing that. I like that, Bob Marley. That Bob's referring to the that was in the How to Smile with a Mask video. That's how you bond. That's how I bond with my squirrels. And sometimes if I'm talking to like a new squirrel, he'll like, Is it talking to me? Is it making contact with me? Is that human woman making contact with me? It's really funny and trippy. They're like, welcome to the club. We definitely loosen up. I was so uptight and shy as a kid. Yeah. Weirdo Cappy Stelly feels. LOL. That's the truth of it. And Saturn, Capricorn, it's its own little brand of awkwardness. And it's an awkwardness that people don't really have sympathy for because it's like, it's just icy and cold and misunderstood. And, you know, I'm seeing Saturn's rings, like the rings around Saturn. It's very, we keep it really restricted. I bond that way too. I add them in my cartoon silent talk from it. Yes, my mom always called me a weird kid. So serious with an attitude. That's funny. Laura, that is so funny. Oh my God, a family of 6 squirrels hangs out while I drink my coffee every morning. Aw. The squirrels in the morning and the birds are probably my favorite. That's how I start my day too, with just looking at nature and green and live things. Hey, Brian, everybody. It's so, and I know that people will say, okay, Aquarius is so weird. Capricorn's really weird. Correct. Capricorn's like the freak, the lady in the streets and the freak in the sheets. That's the Capricorn. Like they, you know, we look like you make an instant judgment on us, but then it's very, very different. Everyone should have a Capricorn in their life. Everyone should have a high vibrational Capricorn who can help them sort through things and understand complex financial esoterica. It's just an asset to have a Capricorn around. Alexander Lopez, ain't that the truth? Yeah. It's very relaxing. It's like spiritually calming, and it's good photons to take in your eyes and everything. So we did it, guys. We freaking did it. It's just so different. So it's the world's different. And then of course this year was very different for everybody. But from December 2017 until now, it's kind of incomparable. Truth, LOL, and I like it that way. I'm holding space for my Cappy one day. Natalie, I wish to ask you a serious question. What do you think happens to our souls when we die? Oh, thank you, Bob Marley. I really appreciate being asked good questions. Thank you. Thank you. I love that question. I know what happens when we die from memory and experience. When our body physically dies, consciousness continues, which means that you will still be able to see and look around you and see things and other things, and you will still think. You will still think. People are really afraid that when you die, it goes dark and you can't hear anything and see anything, and it's just black. And that's no. I don't want anyone to think that about dying. It's your physical. What is death? Death is the surrender of an energy in a certain form. So the energy of you, of who you are, is in this form. So this physical body, this Natalie body, this flesh suit, it's only one incarnation. And I've had many incarnations. I've had many bodies. So, but what makes me me and interesting and fun and cool and everything, just kidding, is not really in this body. It is, but there's a blending of ancestral DNA energy that you choose to work out karmically when you choose to, before you choose to incarnate. We plan this all out. And so you choose your lessons, and it's like, what's going to evolve my soul and like all that stuff. So then you come right in, you just get into this body, and the clock starts for the growth of your soul. And we see how we do. That's why I do not condone or approve of suicide, just because of that. Because karmic law states that when you do that, you go right into another body and you don't get a break, which is really freaky to me, because the whole drive behind taking control like that is to get a break, is to escape what you're dealing with here. So the fact that you just come right back in to a new body, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So for all emotional tides and ups and downs aside, that's why I wouldn't ever suggest that. Can we feel? Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything that makes you awesome and unique and incredible, that's all going to stay with you. Consciousness will continue. You'll still see, you'll still feel, you'll still think, and there will very likely be help. And a lot of people, see, I spend a lot of time in the 5D, my astral body. So it's different for me, but for most people, they're very concrete in the physical world. They're very much invested. Oh, this is my tea that I'm drinking tonight. I forgot to show you guys. It's rose Tulsi. I don't know, Tulsi. I got it when we were all talking about rose stuff for the Venus transit, so it's pretty delicious. Oops. There we go. Our bodies are in our soul need. Yeah, basically we're souls. We have multiple bodies. We have, how do I explain this? This kind of goes to that little intro that I made for Practical Magic, how we're always giving off the energy that we're creating on a molecular level. And that vibrational frequency is its own band of frequency. So if we're slowed down to such a level that we're very solid, that's one body. We have other bodies that are vibrating at much higher frequencies that are invisible to the naked eye. And there's a lot of work that gets done in that space when you can control those limbs and those bodies, because then you can affect things on the physical plane. Boop. Insightful. Oh, thank you, Aria. Joanne Heller, my brother committed suicide, was able to talk to him through my soul tribe before he transferred to another body. Wow. That's incredible that you got to have that moment with him before he reincarnated. Because he took his life, he could have been just a little, lost or something, which is maybe how you were able to talk to him through the soul tribe. Just remember that none of us are ever really lost. We're never really so far from grace and so far from positive, something good. We're never that far away from goodness. And if you think of it that way in vibrational frequencies, I have that chart that I should show you guys. It was on my Instagram a while ago, I think in the summer, about all the different emotions and how it brings your frequency down to be very solid and very slow. Likewise, when we direct our thoughts, because thoughts are little thought forms and they spiral out, that's a good example of like instant karma, because karma is basically just cause and effect. That's why when you're thinking about someone and you're stewing on them and you're just like hating on them, you go and you stub your toe or you fall down the stairs or something else happens. That's like you're just creating your own reality. So Alexander Lopez, wow, you're so wise. Thank you. Oh, thank you for going live tonight. Oh, thank you. Like I said, I'm really just grateful that I have my YouTube tribe here, that we all like the same stuff. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I always wanted my own website when I was a little kid. I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I just knew that that's how the marginalized find each other. So this turned out to be fantastic. Saturn Salon. Let's see. Thank you for this explanation, Sista. It's fascinating. Absolutely. Thank you, Bob Marley, for the excellent question. I love those good questions. I swear, Natalie, you are connected to spiritual guides. Yeah, I am. That was weird. Guys, okay, I want to explain something. I need a sip for this. Hold on, though. Let me tell you like let me share my Saturn return story for all of you. Okay, in a nutshell, I did do the Saturn, the return girl thing and chop off her hair. Totally did that. So this is it with my Saturn return. One of my biggest, deepest, darkest secrets, personal secrets, is that I'm psychic. And it was just something that I just never wanted to talk about, never wanted anyone to think of me, never wanted to be known for, never wanted to, like, I wanted to develop the ability, I wanted the power, but I would have never struck up a conversation with someone and started talking about being psychic. I mean, that never happened. I wanted to do the movie thing and make movies and act. And looking back, all of the signs are so clear that if I was going to do anything in that, I would have been a director, like immediately. Because all of my biggest acting days, like when I was filming for Batman v Superman, when I was filming for Chicago Fire, like all those days, something would happen. Like my whole body would break out in hives, or I'd have like a fever breaking that morning or something crazy. Like it was really clear that, anyway, but I thought that's what I wanted. I'm like, this is what I want. I want to be an actor, which is interesting because there's two types of actors. There's the actors that really live the experience and we're really feeling that emotion, which is the kind of actor that I am. The Meisner, I learned under the Meisner technique, and that's where you, and it makes sense because that kind of acting is channeling energy. You're actually channeling energy work. So that whole time I was actually still channeling energy and doing energy work. And then the other kind of actor is like the really good at lying, can convince you, but they're not actually feeling the emotions that they're portraying. They're just very, very convincing, a little bit more like psychopathic, which is kind of fun. You guys are so sweet. So the thing about being psychic is, and especially with having this channel and having channels at all to connect with other people and get these messages out, you guys, and I love you to pieces when I say this, you guys, with your energies, you haunt me. Did you hear that? You guys, with your energies, you haunt me. Okay, confession. Now that we're in Saturn Salon, anything that happens in Saturn Salon stays in Saturn Salon. I get messages for specific sun signs that I don't film or record or do spreads on. Sorry. I know. Sometimes at the best, I put them on, that they go into Patreon. That's actually really helpful for me to have, to do those weeklies, because it's so easy to get messages. But what was I going to say there? Your energies find me, and the weird things, like all of that stuff. Long story short, that's why I look so crazy to people in like physical life, people that physically would see me before COVID. Like I would just look so crazy. It's so easy for me to look so crazy because I have information, I have intel coming in, my little, so. Oh, speaking of so this past year and a half is when I connected with her. And that is my primary source of information. And I've had to learn to totally let go and surrender and go with the flow. And really, you guys, I am the channel. I'm not the power. So I have to so that's really when everything turned for me, is I was like, oh my God, I'm on YouTube. I'm like a psychic tarot reader on YouTube. Oh my God. This is my acting career. You know, so I walked away from acting. I got really tired of that. There were other things I got really tired of anyway. And then I was working at a cemetery, which was really good for me. I started working at a cemetery in Chicago, and that was good because my entire life, I've suffered from nightmares of serial killers. And it wasn't until I was working at the cemetery that helped. It helped it a lot, because then I began dreaming that I was burying people instead of so I had to face my biggest fears. And that's a Saturnian thing, is that you're going to have to face your biggest fears. And one of my biggest fears was not identifying as an actor, because I love acting. I mean, I love acting. I loved it. I mean, I still love it. I'm very reserved, but it freaked me out thinking like, well, what am I if I'm not an actor? Like, please. I have a totally different view of that too. So Saturn's going to, like, anything that you had crystallized in that area of your life that is just faulty and incorrect and not useful, Saturn's going to decrystallize and tear it all down and make you build something better. And you're going to confront your fears. You're going to confront your phobias. You're going to confront lack. You're going to confront going without, not having those resources, not having any resources or help from anyone else. And you kind of just have to do it. You have to go forward and go. Who said that? Who said if you're going through hell, keep going? Troy, you're so much bigger than acting. Thanks. Thanks. I would get so frustrated, Troy, because of the scripts that I was getting. Like, the roles and the writing was just so. Yeah, if any, I'm all about directing now. So Capricorn sun, yeah, baby. What's your rising? Ted Bundy. Yeah, he's a Sag moon. Must have been hard for you to go through. There's so much. I mean, I'm not going to get into like the absolute grittiest. That was actually like one of the more topical things that the Saturn return was about. Saturn return is going to grow you from the inside out. When we're adults, when we're coming out of that puberty and we're done growing, the growth happens on the inside and we keep growing. And that's what Saturn's supposed to do and mature us. Pretty beaded curtain tarot. My Saturn is in Aquarius. Oh, you're going to start your Saturn return tomorrow. You had a little bit of it earlier at the end of March for a little bit. This is different. That time earlier in the spring when we had Saturn in Aquarius, I think he was with Mars, and now he will be with Jupiter. So Saturn marching out of Capricorn, taking Jupiter. Jupiter's following a couple days later, meeting up epically on Monday. It's a whole huge breath of fresh air, you guys. It's really what we needed. We needed some fresh air. We needed something new. But there's still going to be people holding on to the old, holding on to those crusty structures that are not good. They're literally falling apart, and people are still going to try to hold on to them. And that's likely because, I mean, people normally don't want to lose the comfort that their privilege provides. So anyone that was being cradled in the corrupted arms of Saturn and Capricorn, and that's going through some massive crisis moment, is probably not going to like it. Probably not going to like the Saturn in Aquarius, which is, I can't wait. It's going to be like the Jetsons, you guys. I'm ready for the future. Interesting. That's a trip. How do you know when your federal return is? Your Saturn returns every roughly 27 and a half to 30 years. So I'm like done tonight till 30 years from now if I do not pass before then. one of your fingers, it's like they are separate characters. Also had my Saturn returning Capricorn. Yeah. Is it worth investigating past lives? Lifestyle Combat is asking. If you are guided to that, if you feel like there's some unresolved issues that are just so deep and intense that it can't possibly have been from one lifetime, if you feel like you're developing skills and abilities, that's a really good indicator of a past life gift that you brought with you, is that if you're really good at something, like me being psychic, like I was psychic in past lives. I did other stuff, other energy work in past lives. Or if you're really young and you just know how to ski really well, or those child prodigies on piano and all kinds of musical instruments, they very, very likely had past lives where they were proficient in those instruments and in those activities. Sun and Cap, I have a few more cycles before my Saturn return, but to get through this Saturn and Cap, my mantra has been, I have everything I need. Very good work to consciously program ourselves. Because that's the hard part of Saturn that people really don't like, is that cognitive dissonance in regards to what we take responsibility for, and getting through everything that in ourselves wants to not take responsibility for. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss, good for past life beginner. And The Last Teacher's Pet, what's the difference between December 17th and December 21st? December 21st is the epic conjunction. Everything that's happening this year right now, it's just like a once in a forever event. So everyone incarnated right now, living through all this, it's just a lot of soul work that you're doing. Okay, so the planets, where did I put it? Give me a second. I think it's right here. Trying not to, nope. Do one more. Okay, found it. Okay. What's the difference between December 17th and the 21st? The planets are the energies operating. They're the what. The signs are the character to will something, the how. And then the houses are the circumstances where certain situations are going to be happening and playing out. So when we talk about the astrology and we talk about the planets, like the 21st is this epic conjunction. These two planets in the cosmos are aligning, and their vibrational frequencies are burning each other up because they're conjunct. It's a very big connection. They're right on top of each other. And that's all being like laser beamed into you and through your life, through your energy matrices. Your natal chart is just the blueprint of how you channel energies naturally, and what's going to be difficult for you and what's going to be challenging and what's going to make you better and all that jazz. So basically what's going on from the 17th to the 21st is a major buildup of a lot of powerful dynamic energy that I want you guys to use to channel constructively to make the most out of your life, live the best life you possibly can. That's my highest, biggest, best wish for anything I have to do for anybody, is that it helps you guys live as best as you possibly could here on Earth, because we create the reality here for ourselves and each other. That's also when I became obsessed with saving the world. Yeah, that was, I think, 2018, maybe 2017, maybe the beginning of 2018. Yeah, I became obsessed with saving the world. Started, things. Let's see, I thought it was a trick question. Grandma smoked a joint in the morning and joint in the evening. How does that song go? Oh, I'm thinking of the Two Joint song. Any advice for Sun Square Moon signs, asks Joseph. Absolutely. So if you were born with a Sun Square Moon, that's the energy of the quarter moon, essentially. So you'll naturally, you will work with this energy better. So December 21st is a quarter moon, so you're going to be really lit up like a Christmas tree. See, if you guys can expect certain feelings like shame, guilt, fear, tension, frustration, anger, then you should be able to know, okay, I'm experiencing this, and okay, what's like the next thing I'm going to do? And you whatever you do, whatever it is, if you subscribe to a mantra, a meditation technique, whatever it takes for you to level yourself out. And don't worry about doing it perfectly right, straight out of the gate. You're programmable. That's what I'm trying to get for you guys, is that you are very programmable with your intention and your attention and your focus and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. That's what Saturn wants. So Saturn and Capricorn, wherever that is in your life, if you have been doing the work right in front of you, taking care of what's right in front of you and doing that diligently over and over and over, and like just doing it and taking responsibility, not maybe whining to yourself, but not like getting anything else in the way, just taking care of those things. Oh my God, the rewards are gonna be so great. It's gonna be really fantastic if you've just been doing the work, if you just did it, if you just listen to Saturn. And that's what the guidance is for Saturn in Aquarius. And we will do the breakdown for all 12 signs in that video. Tonight is about congratulating all of us and each other for getting through Saturn and Capricorn. Let's do another cheers. The Queen Psychic. Gabby, you're so sweet. You guys really are. And honestly, psychic ability is being able, is an extension of that self-mastery, just like we have all these 5 senses that feed our minds information about the world around us. Psychic ability is just another way that we're getting information and intel, and being able to control it is just like controlling your arms and hands and muscles and chewing and breathing and all that. It becomes like that. You just have to work it. So practical magic level 3, it's going to have all the good exercises to do all the cool fun stuff. And then you just practice and practice and practice, get that muscle really big, really strong. And then you too will be able to do really good, fun, cool energy work. And it's like, it really is the most you can possibly do to control your mind, your attitude, your feelings and thoughts right here, right now, is the secret to unlocking Saturn. Because Saturn with the fear can get you into the past, get you into worrying about the future, and then you lose the moment, you lose right now, and then you can't access your intuition that's showing you to do something or not do something, or you make a decision from an unconscious motivation and it's from ego or insecurity, and you go blow something up. You ever do a video talk on surviving narcissists and trauma? You're so profound when you speak on life lessons. Oh. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks. I'm really happy that I get to, I talk a lot. I don't talk a lot to anybody. So I'm glad that I get to talk to you guys, someone that wants to hear it. Someone that wants to hear. Honestly, I feel so bad for all of my other friends in the before time, with the before Natalie. I mean, it was like, I was like, I don't want to say I was brutal, but I was correct. Anyway, just kidding. A video on surviving narcissists. And that's something, narcissism is something that culturally there was like this huge flare up and a lot of people were dealing with it. And I remember I read so much on Quora about that, and I had no idea, never heard of it. And then I discovered that like it's something that's really, I'm seeing memes about it, and there's all this like awareness being shared about it. So I don't think I'm going to do a whole video on it. I think I share stuff when it comes up to help you guys learn lessons, because like I said, I don't really talk about myself, except when I'm helping you guys or helping someone learn something, because it's just easier. It's just easier to tell you the story and then you just get it. And that's what I'm looking for. Gabby, when is level 3? You know, it was supposed to be January. I want it to be January so bad. We'll see. It's really going to be in Saturn's time. Honestly, we'll see what happens, because it could be pushed up really, really soon, and it could be pushed back a little bit later. But either way, it will be right on time whenever it's like supposed to be, its own divine timing. But the practicing is really, really important too. So everything from levels 1 and 2 are really foundational. It's like that, those little baby muscles. Okay. I think if angels lived on Earth, they'd look like you. I don't think so, but thanks, Bob. Marley. My name is Dee. LOL, I got married at my first one. I'm not this time. Saturn return is definitely, that's when people freak out and they do a lot of crazy career changes. And like me, for instance, that was a pretty crazy career change. That was intense. But I'm excited about directing, to be honest. I'm really, really excited about directing. It's more of where my spot. My mother and grandmother had psychic abilities. I guess they would smell flowers before someone would die. That's another really interesting thing that I love to leave room for in practical magic, is that everyone is a unique individual, and certain psychic experience like that, that's a very unique thing. So when you start that road of developing ability, it is a very unique individual road, and a lot of different things can come up. The energy work I've been doing in my dreams has been intense. Nicole Helen, oh my gosh. JoJo's been training so good. Want to hear about the meanies? You were so right about the dog training slip. I was kidding. Yes, you can run. Capricorns need their. Gabby says Capricorns need their vacay. Yeah, I've been doing this thing where I'll take like a 1 hour vacation, or like a 2 hour vacation, or a 3 hour vacation, and I just, from those times, I just totally, and it's been helping. It's been good. Aww. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Like I said, if I can help you guys get some sense of control and power back, because I think a lot of people's argument against astrology is the free will concept. And I'm right in that vein of, it has to be free will. Like I can't live without free will, you know? So the highest of that is having free will over ourselves and control over ourselves, and making these choices, making these decisions to think and feel certain things in certain ways. So astrology is like the roadmap. So if I say December 21st is a huge freaking day, it's like this huge conjunction. There's a lot of powerful energy. If you want to do this, the energy is favorable for X, Y, and Z. It is not favorable for A, B, and C. Then you guys will know to expect certain things, and to say, okay, well, I knew that was gonna like go wrong, or I knew that's that kind of thing. So it's very, very practical, which is why we have practical magic. So honestly grateful for my narcissistic family. They allowed me to connect to spirit at a very young age. A lot of, if not every single psychic, has been through such incredible trauma that it like forces the spirit, it forces the soul awake. The example I gave earlier about when people live in the very physical reality, and then when they're ready to pass on, there may be a period of time where they are starting to see relatives that have passed on, and they're starting to have their own psychic experiences, and it's like easing them into like their great transition. Need a vacation. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I've been getting a lot of music downloads. It's so interesting during my meditation state. Oh, that's so good. You've helped me so much through some of my toughest phases of life. Oh, thank you. That makes me so fulfilled that I can help. You're very, very welcome, and thank you. Troy says, Natalie, if you, the director, ever needs a grip. Aw, Thanks. I put Natalie in my art. If you can direct any movie you wanted, what would it be about? You guys know that I'm super grandiose at times. It's going to be something grandiose. Tina says the trauma stops when you let go of things that no longer serve you. Getting out of the victim mentality was probably so traumatic for people going through this Saturn and Capricorn phase, because Saturn will make you feel like a victim. Saturn will make you feel like a victim of your family, the world, authority figures, life, your partner, your romantic partner, your siblings, your parents, your job, your children, your dog. Like Saturn, if you're resisting, that's a good like red flag. If you're feeling totally victimized, it's probably Saturn trying to teach you something, and us being totally resistant to being able to learn, or not resistant to being able to learn, but resistant to the lesson. There's part of us that's really like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to grow up. They say diamonds are made under pressure. Under pressure. I'd love to be part of it. If you have a Russian character in there, LOL. How cool would that be, you guys? If I were able to have all of you guys be part of my film. I've thought about it. That would be so freaking cool. I need someone who's really strategic. Leave us wanting more. You're funny. How does it affect Aquarius moon? Kitty Mesme TV asking. So if you're an Aquarian moon, you just had an extremely difficult time with Saturn and Capricorn transiting your 12th house of secrets, sorrows, and self-undoing. You've likely been shown all of your own self-sabotaging behaviors and attitudes and belief systems that have needed to be knocked down one by one on a very subjective level, where you're feeling personal repercussions of this. So now you're graduating now, and hours away of having the benefit of all that wisdom and reflecting on all of those things that were getting in the way of you living your life that you own, that are, I don't want to say your fault and my fault and your fault. It's no one is responsible for the horrible things that happen to them. We are responsible for the healing, though. So psychologically, you've had to get responsible and take responsibility for your own healing. And so now that Saturn and Jupiter are moving into Aquarius, your lunar first house, it's going to be about building you up from the ground up on your own terms. On your own terms. Kitty Esmeralda, thank you. You are incredibly gifted and have helped many with your light and love and desire to save said world. I'm still into it. It's just I have to surrender the how. That's all. I have very creative, strong ideas, but I just have to surrender. She manifests all. I would love to be part of Natalie production. Yay! Bittersweet to the end. We are right where we're supposed to be. That's true. We're always kind of right where we're supposed to be. It's just one of those things we have to trust. She manifests all. Oh, your makeup is lovely. Thanks. I just put on like a lot of lipstick. One at a time. I'm an Aquarius moon and Aquarius cusp. Interesting. I have no idea what moon I'm in, but I'm an Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarius, it's the same thing, except you can expect to see a lot of big changes like in your physical life because you're an Aquarius sun. Is the new year a good time to start things? Well, this new year we have a full moon in Cancer. So it's going to be more of a relaxed new year. It's going to be more of like kind of gliding on into the new year. I would probably rest a little bit more and relax. because I know that there is Venus square Neptune. No, there's a Venus Neptune. Let's see, Venus will be in Sag. Yeah, Venus will be in Sag, squaring Neptune in Pisces. So generally full moons are a culmination. So there could actually be more information, Jeff, coming to the surface that you'll want to wait for it to kind of fully let out before the start. But you can make progress with like planning and brainstorming. Saturn and Pisces in the 5th house. Oh, wow. That's very, so it was probably hard to have crushes on people because you probably took them all very seriously, or that you wanted them to be very serious. Very trying to romanticize, but with Saturn can be kind of critical. Do you do natal chart readings? No, I do destiny readings, life path stuff in the, I think it's the Kings and Queens tier on Patreon. And then I always have people's charts in front of me when I'm doing psychic readings, so I can see their little like map of energies, but I don't do straight up natal chart readings. Definitely a Saturn returner, Cap, Sun, Moon. Yeah, Capricorn, Sun and Moon. Wow. It's hard. It's hard taking responsibility beyond whatever happened to us or whatever did make us feel like a victim, taking responsibility from there moving forward. But when you do, you feel so much better and you really own it and you're in control of it. And then the self-respect. Self-respect. Hello and good night. Got to get up for work, relax, one try in a mask in his Michael Corleone chair. Oh, thank you, Carl. Carl made it, everybody. Oh, you're so sweet. All right. Good night, Helen. I've already seen the movie. You are to make it occurred over 3 consecutive dreams. It's about an interrelationship relationship that's set in Atlantic Beach in the 50s to presently. Well, I do love a lot of 50s aesthetic. Thank you. Email for the deets. Oh, thank you so much, Carl. Carl's a big supporter of the channel and of the Artigan, everybody. Do you do personal readings? I do. I had to raise the prices. It was one of those things that I didn't, like I said, I just started putting stuff up on YouTube and then people started asking me for the reading. So they're really, really expensive on theartigan.com. It is cheaper to do it through Patreon, the highest tier in Patreon. I'm sorry. That's why I need to train up all the baby psychics so we can help everybody. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm already wanting to crack all the bones in my body. If there are any last questions, this is really just to send everybody off in a really good feeling, a good spirit. If you had felt depressed or sad or anything throughout the day, slough it all off, exfoliate it away from your energy field, and be really proud of yourself that you made it and that everything's going to change. Like basically in a week, life is going to be very, very different. All right, guys, I love you so much. Forever and ever and always. Take really good care. I hope you enjoyed today's Saturn Tea Salon. Until next time, my dearies, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah, mwah, mwah.